Alright, we're going to go through some of the issues we've been having trying to get this Holley and 4L80 to work here. So when looking at the tune, we go into the global folder property and we just have the standard transmission from high power turbo application installed. Everything within the transmission setup is basically all from the Holley setup with it's got the 4L80, all the stock gears. We have Mickey Thompson the Pro radial on the back at 28.2 inches tall and a rear gear of 3.25 in the rear end. All the shift parameters were exactly from Holley, so the 1 to 2 shifts at 20 miles an hour, the 2 to 3 at 37, and if we get to the 3 to 4 at 50. Line pressure, all the tables, it was just factory from Holley with the duty cycle set up as it is, so nothing special in there. We kind of have a mess in the car here just based off of testing purposes. We got my buddy's ECU here. We've got our second ECU just for testing purposes. We got here, both of them operate the same. So right now what we've got is a 12 volt source hooked up to a test light here. Take the test light and go to the roll bar. So every time when we see a ground, we'll see the test light light up. We've got the J4 harness for the connected into the ECU for the transmission, and pin number 1 is for shift solenoid A, and what we have is just a needle in there where we'll be able to see our ground when it's signaling for shift solenoid A to be grounded, which would technically be a first gear. When the engine's when the transmission shifts from first to second, it should remove that ground and the transmission should shift into second gear. So that's kind of what we're going to look at first of all here. So again, we've got the dash here. We'll see where we're seeing different gears based off of different applications. So get the car fired up. And with the car fired up, we can see that shift solenoid A is grounded. We still have the shifter in the park position. So what we're going to do is shift into overdrive here. And again, we're still seeing a first gear signal coming from the ECU there. We're seeing first gear on the dash. However, letting go of the brake, we believe the transmission's in second gear. It doesn't have that first gear howl, yet the ECU is still commanding first gear. So accelerating, we're already just letting go of the brake at an idle, doing 20 miles an hour, but the transmission had never shifted and it's still commanding first gear. So even as we accelerate, we're not seeing any change. And that whole time, it's still grounded shift solenoid A. So now what we're going to do is put it in manual low, and we can hear a little bit of gear whine, so the transmission would technically be in first gear. And everything, we can definitely see just at an idle, instead of doing 20 miles an hour, it's only doing 9 miles an hour. So we believe that the transmission's still in first gear. Again, we still have the test light lit, so solenoid A grounded. So now what we're going to do is accelerate just to and then manually shift into second gear, and the transmission did nothing. Shift solenoid A still lit, just at a real light throttle, and we're not seeing anything change here. So the shifter in different positions, everything's just and then again, as soon as we shut the car off, we lose the ground to shift solenoid A. Can't figure out what the hell's going on. we'll do a couple other tests, take some videos here, and upload them. But it's just we're at a loss for words.